What's up, my friends? John Baruti here from... Oh my God, my neck. It's gotta stop doing that. Baruti Success. This week we're here talking about failures. And it's not the end. Sometimes failures are a good thing. Let's get into it. So, my friends, I talk about business, entrepreneurship, the battle, going hard at it. You cannot discuss entrepreneurship without the valley of the death spiral failures, okay? Of which I've had many. I've had way more failures than I've had successes. And to be 100% honest and no joking around, I used to despise failures. I used to do everything in my power to avoid failures. And as I've gotten older and a little bit wiser, I realized failures are a good thing. That's right, Sally. Yeah, no, failures. I'm telling you, they're a good thing. Failures, they're a good thing. Why, John? Why?
Why are failures such a good thing?
I'm going to tell you, Carl. I'm telling you. Failures are a good thing, my friends, because they teach us the lessons we need to learn. That sucks. Like, why can't we just have a business career with no failures and straight to the top? Well, first of all, Sally, it's not fun. Okay, you think it's fun. You think you're a superstar when your company is doing a hockey stick and going from 0 to 1,000. And then what happens someday, one day, eventually, things go to poop. And the faster things go well and sailing and beautiful, and I'm the smartest person in the world, and oh my God, you piddly people, I can't believe you fail at business. The longer that happens, the harder the fall. Okay? Now, I don't think I was ever those pompous people. Okay? But, at some point I thought I was doing pretty good. But I failed at many things. Many things. Probably my biggest failure was the restaurant. Okay? If any of you come to this channel before, you know I grew up in the restaurant business. I did not like the restaurant business. Well, the genius went back into the restaurant business after I graduated. The bread company was doing terrific. I wanted to build a bakery. And why not add a restaurant to that? Come on, how hard can that be? Yeah, not good. So I probably put the most effort and money and I don't know, I put everything I had into it except loving it. I did not love it. I hated it from day one. I just thought it was an ends to a means and could make money at it because I knew the business. And for those of you that don't know, don't do that. Okay, I've said it before. I will say it again. Listen, you don't have to absolutely willy-nilly love what you do, right? But you can't hate what you do. And I hated the restaurant business. And yet I still went back into it. So, lesson learned, okay? And we won't do that again. But these are the steps we're going to go through real quick. And there's not a lot of them. There's basically 3 things to failure. And we're going to go over them, okay? First of all, understanding the importance of failure. Number 1. Why is it important? Why, John? Why is failure important? Well, Carl, I'm going to tell you, right? Failure is important, as we just said, because first of all, it grounds you, right? It builds resilience. It made me a tenacious person. So I don't know about you, but the more I failed, the more I thrived. That's not a word. Thrived. That could be a word. And wanted to be successful. So the more I went into things and tried things, well, listen, first of all, I've been failing since I've been a little kid, right? I don't know if I told you the story. When I was a tiny little kid, went around my neighborhood, kind of stole newspapers from everybody, and then tried selling them back to them. Well, that didn't work. Failure, right? A couple of years later, my parents had a restaurant, and the tennis courts where this restaurant were closed down. I tried to be a tennis pro and bring people to the tennis courts and have them play tennis for a certain fee. Failure. And all these failures cost money. And I learned pretty early on, try not to do that because failing costs money. But that being said, you need the failures to learn. So what did I learn? Well, first of all, I learned very early on, don't steal. That's not smart. Okay, so thank God I learned that early on. Then what did the tennis courts teach me? Marketing. My marketing sucked as I was a young kid, right? I went around town with these horrible flyers. There was too much information on it. People didn't care. So every failure has something behind it. I did, during the bakery days, I was recycling used vegetable oil. Now, that was more of was an ancillary business because, fuel was going through the roof, and I had to figure something out because we were losing a ton of money on fuel. So, I started a whole new business. I bought a Bobcat. I had a whole still that would heat up the vegetable oil, filter it, this whole thing. I put probably close to 100, maybe around 75 grand into the business. And, did it fail? Yeah, no, I'm going to say it failed. But yes, it failed. And it failed for multiple reasons, basically because I wasn't, and this is a perfect example. I wasn't focused on it. I had the ice cream store, I had the bakery, I was, had all the properties to take care of, so I wasn't paying attention to it. So what did that teach me? Well, it taught me to stop being a squirrel with a nut and focus. That's a big one for me, focusing. I get bored easily. And focusing is a huge lesson that I learned from failure. So what does failure teach you? It teaches you resilience, right? It teaches you how to grow, right? It gives you valuable feedback for growing, for succeeding. Failure, although sucks, is probably one of the most important things you'll do in business. Now, that being said, if you are doing tremendous in your business and you've never failed, don't look to fail, but failure is a part of business. And if you have failed, and this is what I've seen, it's what I've seen with friends, with colleagues, there's two types of people that fail. People that fail and get energized from it and come back and want to do better. And those that, well, I'll say three type of people. The second is those that fail and never tried again. Oh, I can't do this. I failed. And those that failed and will do it again, but it's like they were beaten down and they're not the same. They don't have the same tenacity. They don't, okay, well, I got to be super cautious. I can't do that. Now, learning from your failures are essential. That's the whole point of a failure, learning. What should I not do? But as an entrepreneur, as soon as you become super safe, if that makes any sense, or super cautious, cautious is okay, smart is terrific, paralyzed is not good, and I've seen it paralyze people. That I can't do that. What if I fail? Well, what if you don't? Part of being an entrepreneur is trying things and failing and learning and trying things again. So that is the whole purpose of failing. Now, that being said, we come to part two, right? Part two is basically the bounce back. How do I bounce back from the failure? That's the most important part. Okay, I failed. Theoretically, and I haven't done this. No, I have, because I journaled, but I haven't done it well. What you really should do is get a piece of paper out, get your journal out, get a Google Doc. I'm using Notion now, I love it. Get a Notion doc out and pinpoint and bullet point your failures. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What should I have done? Where did it start going wrong? Where did I go down the wrong path and follow that path and didn't really stop, look, think, reevaluate? So I guess a debriefing, and listen, that's why the military does it, right? That's why all these high level organizations do debriefings. Pilots do it, CIA agents do it, all kinds of SWAT teams do it, all kinds of high level organizations do, they relook at things, they go over things, they evaluate things, and you really need to do that. So you don't make the same mistake over and over and over again. And I found myself doing that. I got to be 100% honest. I found myself making the same mistake over and over again until I really sat down and said, hold on, John, seriously, what are you doing? You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different answer or a different result. So that's why a debriefing is important. That's why you have to study your mistakes. You can study and Google and YouTube other people's mistakes, but your mistakes are the most important. So, and then from that point, within number 2, reframe your mistake, right? So reflect on it, just like I said. Write it down. Make sure you're not, okay, I won't do that again, and move on. You need to actually sit with it and say, really, okay, what could I have done better? And then so you have your bullet points, you have your debriefing, and then make a list of, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this better. For me, right, multiple things. So some of the things that when I think back, right, they're simple mistakes that I say to myself, okay, well, if you're going to make the same mistake over and over, once you realize the mistake you're making, again, stop, write it down, sit with it, analyze it, say, I'm not going to do that again. How can I do it better? And then move on. Another thing that's important is, seeking support, right? I've said this multiple times, and I have kind of like my own little masterminds that I talk to certain friends, certain colleagues, and get a support group, right? Talk about the things that you failed at, and get feedback from your colleagues. A lot of times you beat yourself up way more than you should, right? And your friends and colleagues will normally point that out, say, John, you got to realize you had a phenomenal company. The fact that you did A, B, and C mistakes, you did C, D, and E, terrific. And you'll get that kind of feedback from your colleagues and friends. So it's important to have a support group around you. And then take action, right? Once you have your debriefing, once you have your bullet points, once you've basically deciphered what you did wrong, take action. Then put it in place. Okay, I did this, I'm going to do this, right? That I procrastinated too much, now I'm not going to procrastinate, I'm going to go right after it. I marketed incorrectly here, what could I do better? Well, I have to know my audience, I have to know who to advertise to, I have to know how to advertise, I have to go study advertising. So the things that you made the mistakes with, pivot and learn the problems, learn the mistakes that you did, correct them, and then move forward. And then finally, part 3, right? Learning from your mistakes, which is the biggest, it's the biggest lesson. I know learning from your mistakes, it's a lesson, but it's the biggest lesson. And if you don't walk away from a mistake with a lesson, it's a shame, because you've wasted money, time, aggravation, making the mistake. You should really learn an intelligent answer and an intelligent way to move forward in the things that you're doing. And I see it time and time and time again. And sometimes we're so in our businesses, we can't see it past our own hands, the mistakes that we're making, the things that we allow in our company. Oh, I'm going to let them do that because I don't want to rock the boat. No, there's certain things that need to be done. You don't need to yell at your employees. You don't need to be a Gestapo. But, when you see something, either laziness or not even laziness. If you see employees doing it wrong, correct them. And if you've corrected them 100 times, correct them 101. This reflects you. Your business reflects you. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be condescending. You don't have to be any of those things. You have to pull them in again and say, listen, Frank, I know we've gone over this, and I have to be 100% honest. I'm frustrated, right? I'm super frustrated, and the reason I'm frustrated because I know you're better. I know you can do a better job. I know you can treat the customers better, and yet you're not. So we have to do, this. We have to do A, B, and C to get you better. Otherwise, maybe this really isn't the place for you. It sucks. I need the people. I can't be without people. So I'm praying that we can get together here and get you more money by getting the company better and getting more profits. So there's multiple ways you can handle problems and mistakes. And that's not only mistakes that you make, it's mistakes that maybe other people are making in your organization, and you've just been exhausted and you're just tired and you don't want to deal with it anymore. And you want to just go in your office and shut the door. How do I know that? I was there. I was exhausted. How many more times do I have to tell them? Well, it's your baby. It's your company, right? It's your business. You have to either keep telling them, or maybe the person that you're telling isn't the right person for the job. Or maybe they're in the wrong position. These are all mistakes that both you're making and your employee is making that can be fixed. Don't go down the road of ignoring it. Don't go down the road of kicking the can. Don't go down that road, right? Learn from your mistakes, fix them. Learn from your mistakes, fix them, and move forward. So in conclusion, right, at the end of the day, failure is not the end. I failed, I'm a failure. No. You failed, awesome. How can I learn from it? How am I going to get better? I've actually gotten energized. Okay, I failed, awesome. I did these things wrong. I'm going to be way better next time. And I'm being honest with you that I'm so energized. Some of you know, I've told you this multiple times. I'm looking to purchase companies again. I'm looking to go back out and get into, buying a company or two. And I'm a little nervous because I haven't, I've been out of the business for a while. I will not get back into food, but just dealing with employees, I get, I'm excited to take the things that I've learned over the years, take the mistakes that I've made and make it better and make a better and bigger and more profitable and more exciting company that I can create and the people around me will enjoy to work for me, work with me. I'm super excited about it. Okay. So, this one, all about failures. Failures are not a bad thing, all right? Take your failures, learn from them, get excited, put it down what you can do better, and go and do better. That's it. I know it sounds simple, but it's hard. But we can all do it, okay? Nice and short, this one. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I think it's short. We'll see. We'll see how they edit it. Okay, we'll see you on the next one.